Hello, John here again, and sorry about the voice. I'm suffering a little bit at the moment, but I thought this was important enough to make a video while I sound much more of a man than I normally do. Voice is really deep. As you know, in my last video I did a coding review of Derek Morris's macros in this book, this incredible book written 2017, I think it was, 2 years ago. Yeah, 2017, which explains how to write game programs in almost a nutshell. Now, this book didn't go into any of the coding. It didn't explain what the 6502 commands were, just didn't explain how to interact with VicChip, but it basically gave you the tools and the framework to make your own game with very little knowledge. And so I did the video to give a bit more depth into the macros, which has been well received. And I had a bit of a surprise when I released the video. A certain gentleman that won't be nameless, Mr. Derek, got hold of me and asked me would I like a sneaky peek into Volume 2. Of course, me. Oh yeah, bring it on. I'll have it. Yeah, send it, mate. Volume 2. So this video is a sneaky peek into Chapter 1 of Derek Morris's Volume 2. Now, I'm not going to do any spoilers. I'm not going to show you code. I'll show you a couple of pages, but I'm not going to spoil the book for Derek because he's put a lot of effort. But I'm going to give you a sneaky peek into this. Now, he has put a lot of effort into chapter 1 is massive, because chapter 1, as you'll see when I put talk on the computer, is all about the 6502. Now, Volume 2 has a very extensive table of contents, which we'll go into in a small excuse me. As you can see, I'm still not better. So, without further ado, let's transfer to the computer. Let's look at what Derek's planning on doing, and then we'll have a sneaky peek at Chapter 1, because I'll tell you now, I've read Chapter 1, brilliant, love it. The way Derek's instructed the person on the instructions and how they work, and he's done it really. For a novice, this is a book to get if you want to learn machine code, because he explains it line by line in the examples. But I'm a veteran 6502 coder. I've been doing it 30 years. I'm not a game coder, that's why I got the book. More of an application coder, as you know, because I've done Kaidos and OSKmon. But I learned something in here that I didn't know before, and that's saying something. And I will go through that example, not Derek's example, but an example that I've done to show you what I'm on about. So without further ado, let's go to the computer, let's have a look. So here we are, Derek's RetroGameDev Volume 2, and
he published on his forum a tentative chapter list of his volume 2. So volume 2 was going to have 3 chapters, 3 parts, sorry. Part 1 was going to be about the hardware. Part 2 was going to be the new game program he's going to develop, which was the Beach Bar game. And part 3 was going to be just from reference. So what we've got is chapter 1, and it is a bit of a monster, because his original book was 121 pages long, that covered 2 types of games, a shooter to a platformer. In volume 2, chapter 1 covers just shy of 100 pages, and that's how in depth he's got. So we will have a quick look at this chapter 1 and how he's gone about it. So first things first is he introduces the book, he makes some assumptions, talks about the 6502 and its various varieties, talks about the internal registers and what you can do with them, and then it goes into how all the so there's his first example, and he uses the CBM Program Studio to get across what he's trying to say in the book, and he does it really effectively. Now I'm not going to show any more of the examples, I'm just going to leave this one because this is an example of what he's trying to do the 2 comparisons between machine language programming, which is you directly entering the numbers into memory, compared to assembly language program, which means you need assembler. And so that's what he's doing. But what I'm interested in, well, what I will say is he goes through everything in significant detail, from the different addressing modes of the 6502, which is what I've done with my videos. I've gone into a deep dive of all the different addressing modes. So has Derek, and he's created some really clever examples to demonstrate all those different addressing modes. He also goes into all the different types of commands, because the 6502 has about 55 unique commands, but that explodes up to 150 something with all the different addressing modes, and he goes through those commands in detail, and with an example that he runs through in CBM Project Studio line by line. So when you have this, like for example this program here, he will run that through the debugger line by line. Now the thing that I learned on this chapter, so if I go straight to the page, was this. So here he's talking about the comparison commands, so CPX, CMP, CPY, and he's explaining how you can do the less than test, the equal than test, and the greater than test. Now when I was doing less than, was always testing for the carry clear, and then for equal to, testing the 0 flag, and then for greater than, testing for the carry set. But there's this here, and I didn't realise that if the number is less than the other number, the negative flag is set. And that got me thinking, because I've seen in people's source code where they're using the BMI command, the branching if negative command, and I thought, I wonder if that is why they're using that command. It specifically tells you if it's less than. I know the carry clear tells you, but this does as well. Excuse me. As you can tell, I'm not well. And so, I thought, okay, I've just learnt something new. And that's what a book is all about, is to be taught something that you didn't know before. So this book is very, very comprehensive. It goes through the examples, as you can see there, using the Commodore, the CVM Project Studio debugger, and describes line by line what is going on, and he does it in a clear and precise way. Now, as you can see, chapter 1 is 98 pages. That is the number of pages in the volume 1 bar 20. So as soon as you put the index on there and the table of contents, so already he's written book 2. But what we really need, and I hope you guys will go talk to Derek and say love chapter 1, seen the previews, is to help him get all the other chapters done, because I can't wait for this. I mean, this one I can't wait for, because the Sid is a black art to me. It's one of those chips that, yeah, I am getting used to the Vic because of the Neptune Lander project, which the next series will be starting soon. The Sid is just a black art to me. You know, I would love somebody to teach me how the Sid works. And I want to see this game. I want to see the Beach Bar game. He's also going to do some references, so the Vic registers, some subroutines and stuff like that. So these are all things that will add to your library if you are a noob at 6502 coding. This is another book that you should get when it comes out to help you code for games in machine language. Now, I know I've not shown you much. I'm trying not to show you too much because I don't want to, you know, spoil it for Derek. But the fact that chapter 1 is written and I've read it. I read it and I love it. I love the way he's talked me through all the different commands and how they can be affected by other commands. I love the way he's done it, and in some respects I wish I'd done videos like that, but that's the difference between two different creators. So guys, reach out to Derek on his forum, tell him exactly how good a job he's doing. Let's get him, how can I put this, let's give him some positive feedback so we can try and get this book out this year. Because if this is chapter 1 and he's done the other chapters and he's kept them away from me, boo-hoo, because I would have loved to have read them. But this book I can't wait for. And Derek, please complete it because we need it. Right then, with that, if you like this video, please click that like button. If you didn't like it, fine, hit the dislike button. Always leave me a comment. And if you'd like to support my channel, please consider becoming a patron of mine. All the money goes back into the channel. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye. Hi, it's me again. Like a Wally, got a bit excited, And I forgot to tell you what I'd learned. I'm not well. Anyway, right. So, let's do a little example of what I'd learned, right? So, let's no, not that one. Let's add the basic loader. 0810. So let's add in that. Start equals $810. Right, so I am using Arthur's latest beta, which is 3.13.1 beta 8. Lots of clever stuff in here. Not going to go through with it, that's a completely different video. So what we're going to do, so typically, and in fact I'm not going to type it in, I've already done it. Let's copy it and paste it. Right, so here we are, we've got two numbers, and we're the traditional way, which is the way I've put in my videos: branch if carry clear to less than, branch if equal to, branch if carry set to greater than, and then come out. So that's how I've described how to do the greater than, equal to, less than in my videos. So if I run the debugger on this, and set it to 810. Oops, go on. Thank you. And run into it. So 2 is less than 4, so it should go down the less than route. Less than, and it comes to the less than route. Right, so if I set the memory, so we're going to set the LDAO2, and it's not 10 we want, it's 11, and we'll set it to 06. Okay, there you go. So LDAO6, so we'll go back to here, and we'll run step through it this time. So it should go to the greater than. There you go, and it does. And just for completeness, oops, we will set to make it 4. So 104. There you go, so it's equal. We'll go back to this, tell it to start again, and run through it line by line. So this time it should go through down the equal to. There we go, so it does. That's how I used to test for greater than, less than, equal to. But what I've learnt in Derek's book is, instead of using BCC for less than, you can use BMI for less than. And conversely, instead of BCS, you can use branch if plus to greater than. Oops. So you can use that. Now, the beauty of using these two methods is you are testing 3 different flags for 3 different branches. So BMI is testing the 0 flag, branch if equal is testing the, sorry, let's go back. BMI is testing the negative flag, branch if equals testing the 0 flag, and branch if greater than is testing the carry flag. So you're testing 3 different flags to perform your 3 different functions. Now I completely understand why I've seen all these branch if minuses all over the place on tests, because I always thought they were testing for negative 2's complement number, but no. So if we do the debugging here we go, set it to 810, and run through it line by line, so it loads 2, compares with 4. As you can see, the negative flag has been set and it jumps out. And I never knew that. Never knew that. In 30 years of doing this, I've never known that, and I've always wondered why people were using BMI. Now I know. And that is why I like the new books that are coming out for the retro stuff, because I did not know that. So that's the one thing that I learnt from chapter 1. So I can't wait to learn from chapters 2, especially 3, which is the SID chip, and the rest of it. So I have now yeah, I have now got to the end of this video. I hope that you liked it. So I'm having a bit of a deja vu moment now. If you liked it, click that like button. If you didn't like it, fine, hit the dislike button. Always leave me a comment. Yeah, tell me that my voice is really deep. Yeah, that I'd like them sort of comments. And if you'd like to support me, please click that subscribe button. Also, Patreon. All the money I generate from Patreon goes back into the account, back into the channel. So with that, this is definitely, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye. I'd like to thank all the patrons that are contributing to my channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. Thank you very much.